Hey, what's up everybody? This is Marty from Radio Free Nation here today to talk a little bit about my track layout. Now my track layout is smallish in size. It's a dual oval with a yard inside of it, and it's about 4.5 feet by about 11 feet long. So it's not a big layout, and the reason is I have multiple other hobbies, so I needed to work within my space restrictions. Now one of the things you probably noticed right away is that my track layout's not finished. This is a track layout, my first attempt at model railroading, and I want to say it's never too late to take up the hobby. I myself am in my 40s, so I just recently took up the hobby a few years ago, but you can do that at any time. It's not a tough hobby, not an overly expensive hobby to get into, and it's a lot of fun. Now let me point out one of the things I'll mention, a number of rookie mistakes I made in my first layout, and one, if you're a veteran model railroader, you'll notice right away, is external tabletop wiring. Now these terminal blocks do not belong on top of the tabletop. Unfortunately, when I started my layout, I started it basically as a test track and then started to model my scenery around it, and didn't give much thought to the fact that my wiring was buried underneath my scenery. But now that it is, I have taken certain other steps to remedy this situation, which I'll show you in a minute. But that's a rookie mistake. You don't want to do much tabletop wiring. As you see, I have to run my wiring under my scenery, and then you end up with things like this, wiring running underneath track and stuff. So that's a bad practice, which I'll mention right off the bat. I would not repeat if I had it to do over again. Now that said, I did take steps to remedy that situation by creating my own under table electrical layout, and this is a custom slide out panel that I built, and it includes this panel. I bought this aluminum sheet here, punched holes in it, made some standoffs, as you can see there, labeled all my stuff. I have about 40 accessories I can control from these terminal blocks. There's a Tyco transformer, some switches. I have some redundant systems built in here. I can monitor track power through this old school dial. I have these old school on-off toggles, which I picked up at a local salvage store. Red light stop, green light go. Then this is my backup switch in case my system fails for some reason or I have a shortage. I have a short. I have circuit breakers built in and redundant failover in case something should happen. Now this slides right away. Obviously I'm not done with it. You can still see some wires there. But again, I tried to correct the mistake that I made, so my wiring is now obviously done under table, and you can see, as evidenced by these stubs that come up everywhere, for my future buildings and accessories. Now, my track layout's mostly, it's a Midwestern layout, and so that's kind of what I want to capture. In Midwestern industrial, this yard, when finished, will be populated by a number of manufacturing buildings, including a loco maintenance facility. So we'll have trains. This is a regular maintenance yard, and we'll have some stuff going on there, and I'll show you a bit of that in a second. Now, big shout out to Big Al Mayo, MonsterRailroad. You can look him up on YouTube. Don't forget the name MonsterRailroad, because you can get some very valuable tips. One of the tips I got from Al and his how-to videos was how to do proper ballasting. Now my ballasting came out really well using the technique that Al went over in his video. I suggest you check it out. This is real good. I'll use a different type of ballast for my yard, obviously, but this exterior, oval ballasting came out perfect, and I want to thank Big Al for that. Also give Big Al a shout out for some of the other things that I was able to accomplish. Now, I'll show you how you learn. Now this, for instance, is a car I tried to weather before I was figured out that Big Al Mayo at MonsterRailroad put out videos on how to weather. And so, first attempt, not bad. This is all paint, no chalk, no weathering powder whatsoever. And but you can still see it shiny. I didn't know how to fade a car at the time when I tried this. And these decals are obviously, or this graffiti are decals, which I would do differently now. I would draw them in, as Al does, which I actually enjoy doing that a lot more. Now, another attempt at weathering. Now, I know this is overdone, but this is when I went to Mayo's MonsterRailroad YouTube how-to lesson on how to weather cars, and I think it came out really good in terms of a test car. Now, I'm just testing out the weathering. I used some powders on here. I used Al's fading technique, and it came out really good, I think. Obviously over-weathered, but still a great lesson to learn, and I plan to use his technique on more cars. Now, I run mostly DCC locos with sound. This ST60 has sound. My Amtrak train has sound. I have a couple other trains with sound that one of them I did myself. The other two came in prepackaged, wired with sound. Now, I will say this, they're expensive, and if I'm going to buy trains, I like Ather, and they run great. Just a plug for them. So here's a pump I did. I kit bashed this fuel pump. I kit bashed this factory. I weathered it. Here's a kit. This is something I kit bashed. This is a scene from a fuel pump area. Obviously these are tubes. You can kind of tell because the lines are in there. I wish I could have done a better job on that. But from spare parts and other things, I created this fuel storage facility area, weathered it, added these two guys. The pipe you see there are just rubber tubes that I cut and stacked and then weathered a little bit. So that's something I kit bashed. I'm pretty excited that I was able to do that. There's another pre-purchase kit, but then I weathered it. My first attempt didn't do a great job, but I think I'm learning not to over-weather. I know these look awfully weathered, these buildings, but I'm getting better as I go along. Here's this loader that I weathered as well, and some of the stuff I've done from videos from Big Al. And by the way, some of the equipment I use, I get it pretty cheap. Big Al turned me on to some of the places he gets cheap stuff. So again, I suggest checking him out. You can buy weathering kits that help you. This chalk, this powder, helps you give that rust look and gives it a textured look, which is great. I have these handy boxes I can buy at the local hardware store, Menards, here in the Midwest. Yours may be different depending on where you are at in the country. But these hold, these are like standard fishing tackle boxes or screw boxes. They hold all my little small parts and bits, and I keep them, sort of organized so that I have tools in one, electronic parts in another, and I have about 6 or 7 of these. And then these totes that I have are filled with like extra rolling stock and engines. So again, my layout, first attempt at a layout. I'm a rookie. I know I made some rookie mistakes, but I'm pretty happy with this. It's a work in progress so far. For as far as I've got, it's taken me quite a while because I do have other work and stuff going on. But I just wanted to share that with you and say, it's never too late to start model railroading. Get into it. Wanted to give a big shout out to my boy, Big Al Mayo out on the Eastern Seaboard. Hope you're doing well. Hope you got my videos, Big Al, and look forward to more of your stuff real soon. All right, that's it for now. This is Marty from Radio Free Nation. Don't forget to check us out on YouTube or myradiofreenation.com.